Welcome to Good Game, your no BS insights for crypto founders.
The thing that really made me depressed about the AI stuff is that there's actually a lot of people who think that the AI crypto meta is leading the way in AGI.
AI. Yes.
I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Every single AI crypto project that you've seen, 99% of the intelligence comes from the base model. And the base model is OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Llama, etc., etc. So that's why I was just very burned out. I was burned out by this. I'm completely fine with trading the meta. I'm done with this meta, this AI, the current meta.
Looking for your next startup idea in crypto? Check out our request for startups list and get inspired at alliance.xyz/ideas.
I'm going to show my t-shirt.
I like that t-shirt, man. I need one of those. Not financial advice. Holy shit. The whole timeline it's essentially like polarized. One half of the crypto Twitter is calling a top. The other half is saying we have a lot of room to grow. Where are you in that camp?
I'm not in either camp. I think we're in the final inning.
Yeah.
But the final inning could be days, could be months. And the upside could be 10% from here or 100% from here. I have no idea. But we're in that final crazy stage of the cycle. There's arguments both ways for bullish and bearish. So the strongest bullish argument, I think, is that the economy is doing great. And Bitcoin has become a macro asset. So if macro asset classes keep going up, then there's no reason to be bearish Bitcoin. We might actually get a prolonged bull market, at least for the next few months. So that's the strongest argument for the bull case. The bear case is, if you look at the sentiment, it's pretty euphoric. And the shit that Trump did is the kind of shit that you would typically expect at the end or near the end of the cycle, right? It was a blatant grift. And grifts tend to happen at that scale, tend to happen near the end of the cycle. So I'm in the camp that we're in the final inning.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I've been sharing tweets with you over the weekend of the shit that I read.
Yeah.
And it's like the stuff that you read in like last euphoric cycle, the year before or the cycle before. One of which I'll call out, which was something when Trump launched his coin, they talked about how it could become like real money. Did you read that one?
Mm-hmm.
And then they drew examples to like historical like context of how people have created bartering systems and money.
Oh my God.
There was a whole a lot of people that tweeted this over the past 6 days or whatnot, which I shared with you. So that was like a signal to me, like people are very euphoric.
Yeah.
And so I do think we have probably, 3 months to a year. Like, I don't know. That's like the time frame I'm looking at. Like from now till the end of the year somewhere is the way I see it. I think we do have a lot of bullish catalysts still. The question is whether or not Trump is going to fulfill what he set out to do for crypto. But we're seeing a lot of interesting signals, right? So like even just earlier today, I forgot who the company was, but they filed an ETF for Bonk, Trump, and forgetting the last one. But I forgot. I think Solana or something like that.
I mean, there's also the kind of stuff that happens near the end of the cycle, like ETF for meme coins.
So what I'm saying is like, this is like the last, like, the blow off top, right? Yeah. So these are the things that I'm saying, right? Yeah. So you have that, Bank of America came out today and said like, hey, you know what? We're open to doing crypto, anything with crypto. So as long as regulators say like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Brian Armstrong just came on today on CNBC and said like, hey, Bitcoin can go to millions of dollars to a coin.
Oh my God.
So I'm just giving you signals of what I'm seeing in the market that suggest that we're very close to the. But the blow off tops, I have to admit, you could 10x to 100x your money.
It could be very violent.
It's very, very violent. So, like, you have to play the game, right? Take chips off the table and leave the rest. If you're,
I already told some of my friends I took 10% off the table.
Oh, that's not bad. 10%. I thought it seemed like you're in the camp.
I never go to zero.
Okay.
I never go full flat. Like,
yeah.
You have to hold some for the long term.
So what? You're still 80% in?
I'm still 90% in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm like 90. I'm 90. 90, 95. Depends.
I think it's reasonable to take some chips off the table, but certainly not a good idea. It's definitely a bad idea to have even more exposure than you had a few months ago. So that's how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so like I just rebalanced everything from shitters to just very liquid assets.
Hey, do you think the AI meta will come back anytime soon?
It will.
Anytime soon.
I think it's coming back now as we speak. People are calling it a bottom. The couple metas that I'm seeing right now that's coming back, AI. So like AI 16Z, virtuals, a bunch of others are starting to form a bottom, coming back up. And then within AI, there's many subsectors, right? So there's like Def AI.
Oh, you pronounce it that way?
I don't know. Well, Def AI. I don't know. Like, it's so stupid. But what's Def AI or Def AI? It's essentially like any AI bot or product that enables any DeFi types of transactions. So like a startup of our Sphere 1 or Orbit, think of it as a chat GPT where you can use natural language and it will automatically convert into transactions and then execute those transactions on your behalf.
This time product is really hard to build.
It's very hard.
It requires deep integration with a bunch of products, on-chain products.
Yeah.
In chains, and need to know the LLM stuff really well. So it takes years to build. The Sphere 1 has been building this for 2 years.
Yep. And almost 3 now.
Almost 3 now. And they just got something that kind of works in some chains.
Yeah, and there's a couple competitors in that realm as well. I think there's Hanon and Griffin.
Griffin is still in beta. I couldn't even use the product.
Yeah, it's closed. From what I gathered, a lot of them are closed beta, and the only open beta.
Sphere 1 is the one that's actually open, and it's
exactly,
at least from as a user, it's much further ahead than anyone else.
Yep. But there is a category of apps that are starting to apps and products that are starting to grow in traction, at least from a mindshare perspective. That I'm saying. I'm going to open up. Have you used Cookie.fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's good, kind of a good like signal just to see where the market is of what people are talking about at least. So there's a bunch of different signals that I'm seeing. So, okay. So we talked about virtuals. So I don't know if you saw their most recent announcement, but they're going multi-chain and multi-framework.
Whatever. It doesn't mean anything to me.
I feel like everyone is competing for attention. Really, what we're doing here is we're competing for attention. So when AI 16Z first came out with the framework, right, where you have these plugins and all the other things that makes it easier to build bots, everyone decided. Then you started to see other agent platforms launch their own frameworks. Then they're like, well, framework is enough. How are you going to accrue value? Well, you got to copy virtual. So now everyone is launching their own launchpad, right? So then you have everyone that has their own launchpad. Then they're like, well, you got to make it even more different and like unique and create really great bots. Then you have like AIXBT that's offered this information, like very specific KOL data information. And then you have like startups like SoulGraph, which really optimizes for like memory for these bots to create like different contextual windows for bots to be able to offer very dynamic information. There's a lot of people that are crashing out.
Yeah.
And so like we saw a bunch of people crash out over the past 2 to 3 weeks. What's his name left? Ari from Block Tower. He goes, I'm out of crypto. I'm done.
Left like a year ago.
No. He did not leave. He was in crypto still. Did you see his long message 2
Yeah, I
weeks
saw
ago?
it, but he said he left a year ago.
He
He tweeted that out recently, but he said he had already left.
Yeah, but he
while
never
ago.
told. No one knew about this.
Yeah.
But he decided to make his announcement this week after the
Yeah.
Trump thing.
Yeah.
So, so him crashing out, and I saw like a bunch of other people like that crashed out. We saw Eric or whatever his name is from Ethereum. He crashed out yesterday, saying that he's done. He's not going to be a .eth anymore.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Anti-Pro Synthesis. I remember that name because he used to dunk on me every.
He used to dunk on me too. I had him like unmute. I have him muted now, so I had no idea that he left too, or she left too. So I have no idea.
But it's different. Anti-Pro and Eric.
No, I'm giving you the lay of the land.
Yeah.
Like we're in this phase of the market where people are crashing out, whether it's ETH's fault, whether the AI meta is dumb, or like these are the things that I feel like that's kind of where we are in the market. I've been seeing people crashing out. Zach XBT crashed out yesterday.
Yeah.
He said that like fuck this, I should be making money. Like why am I helping people out? Like and then he they launched a coin and they gave him 50% of the coin and he just like said fuck it, I'm out.
Yep.
That's where we are in the market. So I wanted to address that because I
was in DM with Ari, and I told him if I wasn't running a alliance and working with startups at the earliest stage and help shape the industry, I would have crashed out. I would have left a long time ago.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the like third, fourth cyclers, I feel like they're crashing out.
Yeah,
because the meta is getting it's getting worse, right? I mean, not worse, but it's getting it's like you see so many of the new people coming into the market, and then you see this shit that they say, and you're like, what the fuck is going on, right? Like,
I mean, what Trump did is worse than 99% of all the retarded shit I've seen in crypto.
So, are you saying you're crashing? You're semi crashing out because?
No, I'm not crashing. I'm sinking with the ship. If the ship sinks, I'm gonna sink with it.
Yeah, I'm going with the ship. I don't care where it's going. I'm going down with the ship.
The thing that really that made me depressed about the AI stuff is that there's actually a lot of people who think that the AI crypto meta is leading the way in AGI. AI.
Yes.
I mean, what the hell?
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Every single AI crypto project that you've seen, 99% of the intelligence comes from the base model. And the base model is OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Llama, etc., etc. So that's why I was just very burned out. I was burned out by this. I'm completely fine with trading the meta. I'm done with this meta, this AI, current meta. I'm sure there's going to be that 1% that will build really good things in the coming years. But the current meta, I'm done with it.
But don't you feel like this is how it is every cycle, though, right? Like, if you remember, like when ICOs first came out, I mean, I'd say 99% of the ICOs were shit, right?
The ICO era, I agree. But last cycle, it was actually different. Last cycle, we had DeFi, and the DeFi people were not pretending; they were actually building.
Sorry, go ahead. But there were like a lot of people extracting money too, man.
Yeah, at the end of DeFi summer,
the iron, fucking
cream and
cream. I got screwed on cream, pickles, and
no, 100%. Like
yam.
At the end of DeFi summer, there was a lot of very extractive projects, but for the most part, I think people were not pretending. Like DeFi actually built something really useful, and people were not trying to they build stuff without. Like nowadays, it's people don't build anything real, and they pretend to be.
But I mean, like back then, you had people forking and then like renaming it. like cream was a fork of
right, but at least
Ave or whatever. I forgot what it was.
I think it's gotten worse. I think
it's gotten worse. I'll agree with you. I think, but that's what it is, right? Like when you have more people coming into crypto, I feel like it's in a 10x get. Okay, I think I know where the issue is.
Yeah.
I think the issue is. During the DeFi days, it was a smaller niche smaller group of people.
Mhm.
And so it was easier for us to call out like, okay, that's shady, right?
Mhm.
And so the inspiring stuff was what was propagated, because we control the narrative, right?
Mhm.
Now it's the other way around, where we don't have the ability. Like, it's such a big group of people now, and so like 80% of people are shilling garbage, and the 20% that want to shill like good projects, they don't get any time of the day.
Yeah, but the bigger problem, the bigger event over the weekend, the Trump coin. What do you think? What do you think is the impact?
Okay, so
Good and bad.
I think it's bad for crypto, but it's great for everyone outside of crypto. Sorry, it's great in the sense that it gives people. It's like marketing, like people like. So I know you'll argue.
Yeah, if I'm honest, like I was on TikTok. I looked at how people thought of what happened. Like thought of the Trump coin.
Uh-huh.
It was universally negative. Everyone knew it was a scam.
Huh.
And it really damaged the reputation of crypto. People on TikTok were saying Trump launched a crypto scam, blah, 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 blah.
Okay. I got probably like 10 or 15 DMs from like family members and friends that are outside of crypto that all wanted to buy the token.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So
no, they all want to buy. They all want to participate in the upside. Of course, everyone wants to make money, but it doesn't mean that the reputational damage was not done.
I think the reputational damage is done for Trump. It's not done for crypto. What I think crypto has done is shown that you could bootstrap and bring liquidity together much faster than, what you could do on, or eventually over time, what you could do on other exchanges. I mean, like, this shit went to like $80 billion, right? FDV, within 24 hours. I mean, there's a saying that Solana says, which is like internet capital markets, right? And so I think what happened here is it's shown the world that you can bring liquidity really fast and bootstrap tokens. And we talked about this. The Overton window has shifted. Now, like, Mark Cuban wants to launch his token and try to do some good, or like, I'm sure almost every celeb in the world is at least talking about this.
Yeah. To be clear, I have zero issue with the idea of celeb coins or creator coins.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. What I was really disappointed about was that he allocated 80% of the supply to himself. That is the textbook definition of a grift.
We'll see what he does with the capital, but in its current form, I agree with you. Let's see what they do with the money once it's vested.
It's like even if like this whole celeb thing and creator thing will become a thing, it's just a really bad precedent. He set the precedent of
80%.
of giving 80% to the creator themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
look,
it's fine. Maybe like if by the way, so Mark Cuban actually suggested the same allocation, but he would give the 80% allocation, insider allocation, to the U.S. Treasury instead to help with the debt problem. That is great. Something like that is great.
I think what it's done is like, it's like, hey, here's the design principles, right? And now everyone's like, well, how do we make this good, right?
Every Celeb token has, like, if you look at the chart, it's the same chart. A huge pump and then slow bleed to zero. Every single, like even Iggy.
Is Iggy down only? I haven't checked in a while.
It's down only. The Trump is going to be the same thing. Trump token is going to be the same thing. It's going to be down only.
I'm trading Trump right now. I think Trump has, at least for the next few months, some catalyst before the vest starts.
I think the overall trend is down only. There will be dead cat bounces here and there.
Yeah. But yeah. So with Celeb tokens, I think we just need to find the right model. I don't know what that model is. We're experimenting with 3 different models within Alliance, right? We have time.fun, where you could more or less buy their time for some service. You have tribe.run that is more like a Patreon, where you have streaming, you have content, you could talk one-on-one with the creator, etc.
Yeah.
Then you have Clout, which is purely just speculating on the token.
So for those who follow us, you probably have seen Tribe and Time.fun. They may not have seen Cloud. I tried the product; it's really slick. So I encourage everyone to just try it.
Yeah. Cloud
It's
is
really-
founded by Ben. Ben used to be the founder of Monkey Run, which is one of the most widely used app in the world today.
Yeah.
So I have high hopes of this one cracking the TikTok, Instagram generation.
Oh.
So, all right. So going back to the Trump, this, that, how do I feel about it? I felt like I was extracted, right? Meaning like the crypto industry was definitely extracted for money. There's like no shame in that. Here's how I explained it to my wife. Let me know your thought.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, what Trump did was essentially he extorted crypto so that we could get a pass for regulations. That's how I saw it.
Wait, say that again?
He essentially extorted crypto.
Okay.
So that we could get a pass on the regulatory front.
Okay.
So we could speedrun crypto adoption. Is the way I saw it.
Okay.
So I came to peace with it. I was really angry about it, and so I was talking to my wife about it. Then, as I was talking to her, I was like, you know what? He now has more skin in the game to.
Yeah, I mean, he made money.
Look, it could have taken another 10 years, let's say, to get crypto adopted to where it's at. But if he's going to speedrun it in within 4 years, and he has skin in the game for it, let's fucking do it. So, morals aside, that's how I feel.
What really affected me is that he did this before he tried to push for any of the real legislations or executive orders, like the stablecoin bill, the market structure bill, all that stuff. I wish he accomplished all these things before launching his own grift.
Well, you can't launch it when he's president. You just can't. Did you see Nikita's tweet about it? Let me see if I can find it. It was actually a really good way of putting it. He talked about the Trump token. He probably deleted it, fucker. Let me pull it up. Man, X needs to improve its search.
Yeah, Grok is actually better search than search.
Okay, here's what he says. Number 1, dropping a meme coin 2 days before entering office. 2, being forced to divest your holdings 1 day before entering office to avoid conflicts of interest. 3, then on the first day of your presidency, appointing the head of the agency that regulates these very assets. Literally the cleanest $15 billion you could ever make.
I mean, he could also do it after the term in 4 years.
Regulations will be much more put in paper. Right now, it's very gray.
Yeah, so it's a grift.
Look, I'm not like I agree with you, but this is the way I see it. Who? Me? I'm trying to come to peace with it. Our silver lining for us as a crypto industry versus, look, it's very plain vanilla what he did, but will this over time help crypto? I think so. But not arguing for him by any means.
Do you wanna talk about Vitalik and wartime?
Yeah, I mean,
Milady Vitalik.
Yeah, so I saw that. Fuck, man, I saw the cult coin too. I had, yeah. Forget it. I don't want to talk about it. But
so there's some drama.
Yeah, go ahead.
With the EF. Actually, do you want to go?
I mean, at high level, I just know that there's drama within the Ethereum Foundation. There's a tweet that Vitalik posted that talked about being a soy boy, vegan something, and then becoming a bronze mindset something, and that he's not going to do it or something, right?
Yeah.
But we've been okay. So he tweeted this out of all the changes, and then there's drama happening within the Ethereum Foundation, where Danny, I think, and then there's Aya and a bunch of other people, and there's power positions. I don't know the exact details, but there's some movement happening to change things around to make them more aggressive. And then the ETH community at large, the first, the infantry is the one that I call it, right? So if this is an army, the infantry, they're all leaving. And so
you mean Eric and Anti-Pro?
Yeah, Anti-Pro, bunch of others are leaving. And so it seems like what's happening here, the House of ETH is being shaken down to its roots. And the question is who's going to emerge that's going to make it such that the new House of ETH can compete directly with Solana, is the way I see it. That's what's happening right now.
Do you think it's is it too late?
I think it's too late. Like, even if they install a new leader, they install, like, you put a Milady, like, okay, now I understand the community somewhat. I mean, this should have been done like 2 years ago. Like I tweeted about, like, why Vitalik and the whole ETH team needs to like shift. You did as well a year and a half. It was very blatant. They finally came into terms with it when Trump launched his token on Solana. That's when Vitalik decided to switch his PFP to Milady.
Yeah.
Now, even if they're not competitive, even if they're not number one, say Solana is number one. Now, I'm not sure what the dynamics are. Let's just say Solana is number one. ETH can still be a very strong contender for number two. And so, like, if you're seeing what's happening with RWAs, and then you have the Trump team buying a shit ton of ETH and Aave and staking it, like, that's Lindy. You really can't fuck with that, right? So I do think ETH will be here for a very long time. I just think that they may not get the consumer adoption like Solana will, but there's DeFi and there's other aspects of crypto that ETH will do really well at. What do you think? Wrong? Am I wrong, or do you believe that thesis?
So let's say the Ethereum Foundation changes their whole leadership structure. They have a wartime leader, someone like Joe Lubin. I'm not saying it has to be Joe Lubin, but someone of that type of character that's very well respected and is a very strong leader, and then fires 80% of the organization. The Ethereum Foundation is extremely bloated. They have like 200 people.
Yep.
They can't, with this kind of size, they just can't move fast enough.
Yep.
And also align everyone on a North Star metric, all that stuff, doing all that stuff. And if they manage to do this within the next half a year to a year, I still think it's Solana's games to lose. I think between Solana and Ethereum, I'm not saying Ethereum will lose for sure, but I think that the only scenario I can think of that Solana loses to Ethereum is if the Solana people get extremely complacent
or cocky.
Yeah, which, by the way, happened a lot in the past. Happened with Ethereum, and it happened with Bitcoin. The Bitcoin maxis got very cocky. Ethereum people got very cocky. So that's my base case.
Yep, 100% agreed. 100% agree with that. Like, historically speaking, Ethereum is very slow to move, to adopt change. Very, very slow. And that's the aspects of how it's decentralized, right?
Yeah.
There isn't really a centralized factor in how they make decisions and calls. It's community based. Like, even like when they got shitted on for not staking the 500,000 ETH that they had, after they got bullied by the community, they went out and they staked it on Aave or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Lido. And they should have done this day one, or they should have delegated that stake to other validators. I don't know if they did that or not. I'm not sure, but these are the steps that you have to take to help bootstrap different protocols. And some of the responses was like, well, they didn't want to king make any apps. I'm like, you should be king making some of these apps, right? Like, you have to king make them and make them successful. But it goes back to the ethos of Ethereum, and more so Vitalik, right? Which is like they don't, like, it has to be decentralized, like overly thinking about decentralization, overly thinking about the values and the profit. All that goes, like, you have this very like what do you call it, like a socialist, like, I don't know, libertarian community. Then you have a capitalistic community, which is Solana, right? And that's really where the way I see it.
I really want Ethereum to win, because I think out of all the people in crypto, I think Vitalik, I have a lot of respect for Vitalik. I think Vitalik is one of the very few people who
wants to see the world grow,
who wants to make the world a better place, and he still believes in the ideals. He's a highly idealistic person, and I like that.
I do too. If you compare Vitalik to Trump, obviously, right? Like I think that's
compare Vitalik to anyone in crypto.
Yeah. He has the heart. Like, he has
a really good heart.
No, you know what he has? He is the true cyberpunk.
He's the true cyberpunk.
He is the true cyberpunk of crypto.
Yeah.
And the problem is, even Peter Thiel said this, which made a lot of sense to me, which is like, like, I really like Bitcoin. I want to hold Bitcoin. But he made this comment really quickly. He's like, but like BlackRock and everyone buying Bitcoin, it's kind of losing its cyberpunk value. And if you look at it more broadly, that's exactly where we are. We're like slowly transitioning away from cyberpunk values to more consumer retail values. But this is part of the adoption of crypto. Yeah. So can they coexist is the question.
I mean, of course they can, but you just need more people like Vitalik who don't just rage quit during a bad time. A lot of people rage quit this weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. I haven't seen this in a very long time.
Especially at a time when Bitcoin is at 100, like during the later phase of the bull market. Usually people rage quit in the bear market. So that tells you everything to know about the sentiment. People are rich, but people don't feel satisfied or fulfilled.
Because what products have what products have gone to the market that really speaks to crypto ideals? Like, I mean, you and I have been in crypto for like 3 cycles now, right? So, the things that we used to talk about back in the day versus what we talk about are very, very different. I'm talking about apps. The apps back then were like, identity, or decentralized identity, or you have payments, zero knowledge proofs, et cetera. Like, these are the things that we've talked about, like with Zcash, if you remember.
Yeah.
But now we're talking about shit coins, and like, where's the meta going?
I also hope Zcash wins, because I really like Zuko. Zuko is a true cyberpunk. He's a Vitalik kind of person.
Is he still building?
I don't think he's building anymore. He's not building Zcash anymore. He left a while ago.
Huh. On a side note, did you see some of the? Well, maybe we could finish this. But yeah, Zuko, great builder. I hope Zcash also succeeds, or some variant of it. Maybe we should do a pod on all the old crypto ideas that we used to love that hasn't come to market yet.
Yeah,
I think that would be fun. We should do a crypto. Our next podcast should be about like what ideas that we'd like to see built that we've talked about in the past.
Yeah,
maybe we could help swing the pendulum back to, because I think it's sprung too much to the right.
it's gone too far.
It's gone too far. We need to help it bring it back. All right. So did you see the acquisition, or not acquisition? Did you see Phantom raising their round recently? $3 billion?
Yep.
I thought that was a very interesting signal. Moonshot also, number 1 in the App Store.
Number 1 in financial apps.
Finance app. And then like number 4 globally.
Yep.
Over 1 million people are now using the app, collecting, fees between 3 to 5 million a day. They were the de facto app for Trump.
Yep.
For the Trump launch. And so you could, and they said like maybe 500,000 to 600,000 net new users came into crypto because of that. That were introduced to crypto with that, and probably got dumped on. But yeah,
I think they're all going to leave.
Let me see the holder scan, because it peaked at 820,000. It stabilized at 790. It peaked at 853. Now it's at 790. So, and that, comparing that to Pengu, because Pengu had wide distribution too. It was somewhere around 500,000-600,000 from what I remember. What else is on your mind?
Let's end this pod on a high note, on a positive note. Anything positive you want to say?
I did, with Moonshot getting 1 million users. No, I think on the macro side, crypto is very reflexive, and so like, and you mentioned this tweet. You tweeted this out a couple of days ago, and I kind of knew how you were feeling when you tweeted that out, which is like, talking about how you'd like to shape crypto with the right ideals of crypto from the early days.
Yep.
And that crypto at large has become pushed too much into the consumer retail side. So maybe why don't you tell me more about what you're thinking there, and like what positive outcomes do you want to see?
So I actually tweeted about the 2 ideals. Like, someone asked, in fact, one of our portfolio companies, Morris, he asked, what were the original ideals of crypto? And I thought for a minute and said, it's increased freedom, number 1, and number 2, do no evil. I I think the premise of this is very simple. You want to be free to do whatever you want, as long as you're not intentionally hurting others. And I think Trump, for example, has all the right he has to launch his own coin, but he shouldn't have grifted. He shouldn't have, hurt others. So I don't want to see things like this moving forward, but I know it's going to happen because the president of the United States has initiated a precedent, and a lot of people will do it. Will do the same thing. So at this pace, I think the industry is probably not going into the right direction. And if the industry goes to shit, I will sink with the ship. But I want to help the industry build real products. For example, payment, stablecoin. I think stablecoin is the biggest thing that happened this cycle. And again, like most people in developed countries don't feel this personally because they don't need stablecoins, but it is happening everywhere else in developing countries. So I want to continue to fund more stablecoin products that everyday people can use to save money, to transact with each other anywhere in the world. I think that's going to be good for the whole world, not just for the industry, but for the whole world. I think DePIN is good, and the speculative products are. I'm still open to those, right? Like entertainment is good, has positive value. A lot of the speculative products are fundamentally speculative, are fundamentally entertainment, so that's good as well. So that's what I personally plan to do.
Cool.
I will not rage quit at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all those ideals. Now let's talk about our portfolio. Ideals, speculation. What does your portfolio look like today?
I'm max long Bitcoin, and I still have some Sol, and I have an even smaller amount of Hyperliquid. That's it. And maybe if there's like short-term opportunities that come up, I'll trade. I think there's going to be a lot of Celeb tokens in the coming months. I will trade those. I'll trade those. But overall, I think the most important thing is not to increase exposure at this stage of the market. So personally, I'm 10% less than I was 2 weeks ago in terms of overall exposure.
Yeah. My portfolio is a little bit more degen. It's Sol. So it's 4 things: Sol, Hyperliquid, AI, and Trump token. I don't think Trump is done yet, at least for the next 3 months. After that, GTFO.
I will bet you that the Trump token will be lower than 3 months than it is today.
Well, I think it'll make at least one more all-time high. So I see it.
I'll bet you we won't see another all-time high.
Where do you think it'll go?
I mean, the chart looks like it's down only.
Where do you think we end up? Where do we top out at?
I don't know. I don't think. I think the chart will look something similar to EG, but at a much larger scale.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Yeah, I mean, I just bought the bottom yesterday, so see what happens. I think it has one more run up, whether it's all-time high or not. I think we'll get one more swing at this, but that's completely dependent on Trump. I don't know. We'll see. But I consider Trump the biggest meme of all memes of all time. Bigger than Doge, bigger than any internet native based meme. I think Trump ultimately, at least for the next 4 years, will be the meme of the year, or meme of the next 4 years.
All right.
We'll see where Trump ends up at. Will I lose money or will I make money? We shall see. All right. We'll catch you guys soon.
All right. Peace.
As always, the views expressed in the Good Game podcast are personal to the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of any other person or entity. Nothing here should be construed or relied upon as investment, legal, tax, or other advice. Thanks for listening to Good Game. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next week.